Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a button-activated door system similar to games like Portal. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a door system that works with one button, two buttons, or more. You can also have the button only power the door when it's not pressed. To start, I have a simple scene just with a player, and here's a basic movement script on him. And to begin our button system, first thing we need to do is make a button script. Okay, in our button script, the first thing we need is a public bool is on. Then we need a vector2 for the detect bounds, the range that we detect the objects. Public transform called detect origin, and a layer mask. We'll call it accepted layers. Next, we need a collider 2D array. Call it cols. Equal it to physics 2D dot overlap all detect origin and detect bounds. Outweight dot position angle of 0 accepted layers. And then we check if it's greater than 0, if there's anything in the list, if any objects were detected. If there was, then on is on true, else is on is equal to false. Bottom of your button script, you can add a onDraw gizmos and just check if it's on to set the color. Color, not yellow, green. When it's on, the gizmos will have a green color, else it'll be red. And then gizmos.draw wire cube, have the detect origin dot position, and detect bounds. Okay, back in the Unity editor now, we need to create another script called a condition. Okay, in our condition script, it's quite simple, not very long. The first thing we need to do is get rid of our start and update methods, and we need a public button script, which I'll call button, and we need a public bool called require off, and then have a public condition button script button fire off. And finally, we need a system.serializable on the top. One final thing in the condition script is you have to get rid of the mono behavior there. Back in the Unity editor here, we need to create another script, and we're going to call it the door script. Okay, in your door script, the first thing you need is a public condition array. Call it conditions. Then you need a bool, conditions met, and update for conditions.lengths if conditions I dot require off, and if conditions I dot button dot is on, then conditions met, true, else conditions met equals false, then break. Else does require off if not conditions are not on, conditions I dot button dot on, then conditions met equal true, else conditions met is false. Nope. Break. At the end here, can have a onDrawGizmos method, and for each condition in conditions, check if condition dot button dot it dot is on, then actually good idea, check if condition dot button doesn't equal null if condition dot button dot is on is on if condition dot require off gizmos dot color equals color dot red, else gizmos dot color equals color dot green, then if it's not on, do that same thing, requires off, and it's green, and then else red. And then after that, gizmos draw line transform dot position to condition dot button dot transform dot position. So you can have a line that points to each button the door is connected to. One thing I forgot to mention in the door script is you need an animator. You call animator, and in the start function, get component animator. Then at the bottom here, you're going to need a animator dot setBool, call it open to conditions met. Back in the Unity editor, the first thing we're going to make is the button. I have a sprite here for the button, and I'm going to apply the button script to it. Then we need to make an empty object inside of it, text origin, add that to there, text bounds 1, 1, and accepted layers. For the player, we're going to add a layer that I'm going to call player. And on the button's accepted layers, it will be player. To create the door script, the first thing we need to do is create a empty game object, which I'm going to call door. And then take your door sprite and put it inside the empty game object. Reset its transform, so it's centered. I'll reset the door's position too. And then give it the door script, add a condition, add the button, and then you'll see a line being drawn between the two. And for the door script to work, you have to give it an animation. I have one called closed. There'll be default, and one called open. And the open one will just take this and move it up by 2. And another thing is add a box collider to the door. Then in the animator for the door, have a bool. Nope, not that. Add a parameter called a bool open, as that's what we called it in the script. Default to closed. Then make a transition to open. You can do the animations however you want, but this is a simple way of doing it. And then if it's open, play the open animation. If it's closed, play the closed animation. And I'm just gonna delete exit time. Then B0. As you'll see, there, we have our door working. Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, consider giving it a like and subscribing.